Hi everyone, welcome to Mindful Crafts and More. I'm Katrina. If this is your first time checking out my channel, welcome. Take a look at this video or any of my other videos. And if you find yourself inspired, join my channel. For those of you who are returning, welcome back. I really appreciate you just hanging out with me for a bit. So, hi everyone. Today I would like to share with you more information about Socks Not Socks Challenge, show you some of the yarns that I have in my stash, as well as some of the things that I've made with them that might be socks. But just to show you some of the beautiful yarns and display. In addition to that, I am going to give you an update on a whip that I showed you in a previous video from one of our subscribers. She has now finished and it is just awesome. So please be on the look for that. And then in addition to that, we're going to do another drawing because I only was able to have one of our chosen winners from the drawing to contact me. So we're going to go ahead and do another drawing. All right. So exciting things happening. Okay. First things first, I have some coffee. I am actually drinking pumpkin flavored coffee, if you can believe that. Not pumpkin spice, but pumpkin. And it is really, really good. Yes, it is very good. All right, so let's get into it. So I do have quite a bit of sock yarn, and I had in mind many things when I purchased it. Initially, I thought, yes, that would make some beautiful socks. And I didn't know when I was going to go ahead and use it, but it just came to me that there are more things that we can do with sock yarn besides make socks. And as I searched around, I actually found that others were thinking the same thing. So that's how I stumbled upon the beautiful book, One Skein Wonders Sock Yarn. And I just think it's a great book. So, of course, I had to share it with you guys. All right. So, speaking of sock yarns, the one thing I notice about pretty much all of the sock yarns is they do have one of the components in them of elastic. So there's some type of elastic component to them, and that way they can fit nice and snug and have a memory so that you can wear them and they will stay up and whatnot. Now, some of the fibers will be more elastic than others and have more bounce back, but they all will have that in it. Now, I am not sure how compression socks and whatnot are made, but I would like to find out a little bit more about them. So if I look into it and I get more information, I will happily share that with you. And the reason for that is because I do tend to wear compression socks on a regular basis. So the socks that I make are not compression socks. So I wear them, but I cannot wear my own made socks every day because I do need more elasticity and more compression. So I'll try to look into it and find more information about that and share it with you once I learn. Okay. All right. So now the beauty of sock yarn is that there are just so many beautiful colors and just awesome. And when you look at them, you're like, yes, those will make some beautiful socks. But you know what? They would make beautiful items for other things as well. And hence, we've come up with this beautiful challenge to make something with your sock yarn that's just not socks. All right. So let's take a look at some of the yarns that I have. And maybe you guys have tried these yarns before. Now, sock yarns come in skeins, they come in hanks, and they sometimes will come in cakes. All right. So it all depends on how they are processed. Another way sock yarns come are in sock blanks. Now, a sock blank is generally either a tube or it's a flat panel that is created, and it allows you to dye the yarn after it has already been portioned out and knit up. Now, that is just awesome because you can get a lot of different color combinations in doing so, right? There are some sock blanks that are just plain white, and then they're amenable for you to then go ahead and dye them or to put pictures on them. And then as you then unravel them and knit them up or crochet them up, you get beautiful colors that come out in the finished item, which is totally different from the painting or the dyeing that was put into the blank to begin with. Okay, so you can find commercial sock blanks available online. I have seen some people on Etsy to do them, and if you wanted to try your hand at dyeing sock blanks, you can purchase them and dye them yourself. Or if you have a knitting machine, you can also go ahead and knit up the panel and then dye it. I have never done that before, but I have watched it. It's an amazing process. All right. Now, the yarn that I had was actually a tube type of sock blank, and this came from Lion Brand. Now, let me show you what I have. It's called Penelope. So before I grab it, take a look at this photo here. Okay, so yes, that is my Penelope yarn that I have purchased, and I purchased each color that they had available. Now, I actually was inspired to purchase this after seeing a video from Pricilla over at Distinctive Crochet. She showed some of her yarns, and I saw them and I thought, wow, those colors are just beautiful. Let me see if I can get some. Now, the Penelope yarn is not being manufactured anymore. It's discontinued. So if you are able to find some, it probably is available. You just can't, get a whole bunch of it unless somebody purchased it and just decided not to use it or something like that. Okay. But it is beautiful nonetheless. And it gives you the ability to see what this yarn looks like when it is kind of partially worked up. So you have an idea of what's coming next, which is a little different from what you see when it's in a skein and different what you see when it's in a cake. You can see it a little bit better if it's in a cake. In a skein, it's not easy to see because some of it is inside and you can't necessarily see all the colors. All right. So let's take a look at the Penelope yarns that I have, and then we'll talk a little bit more about sock blanks and tubes. Okay. Hold on for a moment. I am back. So I have my Penelope yarn here, and this is what I am referring to. So they have already knit up the yarn into a tube. So this is, I guess you could kind of consider it to be like an I-cord. But it's a little thicker. I don't know how many stitches around, but it is actually, I believe it's doubled. Let's see if it's single ply or double ply. It is, no, it's single ply. Yeah, it's a single ply. And what you do is you go ahead and you start your project and you unravel it as you go. Now, you could choose to take this and ball it or cake it or something, but you don't have to. You can use it straight from the blank. All right. I didn't find names on here. So I'm sure there are names, but to be honest, I don't see any names. But I will tell you about the colors. So this one is beautiful grays and golden all through it. All right, just beautiful color. Look at that. All right, and it is 75% wool and 25% polyamide. It is a category 1 super fine, and the recommended needle size is a 2.5 millimeter, and the recommended hook size is a 2.75 millimeter. And it is just beautiful, beautiful yarn. Now, some blanks are made up so that they are doubled, so that as you are pulling them loose to go ahead and work on your project, you can actually work 2 at a time. So for this one, it is a pattern repeat. And so after you get to a certain point, you probably should have enough that you will complete your project and then start another. Or you could conceivably, you could go ahead and then cut the yarn at one point, unravel to that point, and then do the two at a time that way. Okay, so there are a number of ways that you can do it, but you can visually see the middle of your blank and be able to use it in that way. You just have to make sure you know where the beginning of it is, because of course it's not going to unravel if you're at the end of it like it would at the beginning. Okay, all right, so I bought 2 of those. And then the next one is this beautiful colorway that has pinks and grays, and then kind of a little bit of kind of a burnt orange color to it. All also beautiful colors. I bought 2 of those. And then this one here brings in beautiful fuchsias and brighter golden colors. And then a little bit more of a dim kind of a golden tannish color here. So just beautiful. So I was able to get 2 of those. And then last but not least, this beautiful color here, which brings in some burgundy, some greens, some beautiful kind of golden and tan colors here. And then a little bit of more like a turquoise and an aqua color. Just beautiful colors. And this is Penelope. So do any of you guys have any of this Penelope yarn? It is just gorgeous. And if so, which colors do you have? Have you ever worked with a sock blank before? And if so, was it single plied or was it double plied when it was worked up? Okay, so leave that information in the description box below and let me know. All right, now let's move on to some more sock yarn that I have. Okay, hold on for a moment. I am back. Okay, so other yarns that I have purchased, these came from Michaels. All right, and I think these are just beautiful yarns. Also, I came by these yarns because I was having a challenge with the sock yarn that I had purchased. Okay, so let me show you the sock yarn that I originally purchased and then some subsequent yarn that I purchased and why I got frustrated. Okay, all right, so commercially made sock yarns that you can find in many of the big box stores have similar things in common, and that is from one skein to another, they are not always the exact same sequence of colors. And that's a little unfortunate, and it is not something that you just intuitively know. So I went ahead and purchased some beautiful yarn, and at the time I was making footies or bed socks. So there's this beautiful pattern called Turkish bed socks. And I made up a pair here, and I love the way they came out. This particular yarn is Patton's Croy Socks FX. All right. So the way this yarn is made, I was able to pretty much come up with a pair of bed socks that were very similar. Okay. Even though they're not exactly the same, it's not so noticeable that the sequence of colors is different. If you looked at it closely, of course, you could see that this one is a lighter heel and this one is darker, but it's not so noticeable. Well, depending on the yarn that you choose, sometimes you absolutely can tell the difference. All right. So after I made these, I decided that I wanted to go ahead and get more. So I went to the store to purchase more yarn. And as I was there, I saw this beautiful yarn that I thought, oh my gosh, it's beautiful. And this was the yarn right here. Now, this is called Patton's Croy Socks, and the color is called Route 66. Now, it is a beautiful color, and I loved all the colors in it. The problem is, as I was working up my socks, I realized that from one skein to another, they didn't start and end at the same point. So as a result, I started working up my socks, and I'll show you what I had done. I had gotten them to this point here. All right. So I started up here. The way this pattern is done, you start up here at around your ankle, and then you work your way around and you do your heel flap and your turn, and then you work your way towards the toe. So it's made up from the ankle around to the toe. All right. So I worked on it, and I was very happy with the way this came out. But then when I started working on my other set, I realized that I was going to have to do a whole lot of color control, because I started here and I got myself to this point. So this is the way it started. Okay. And I got myself to this point, but I was going to have to cut out yarn, and the skeins were so different. Even though they kind of look the same, you can see where I was really having to pull at it in order to get to the same point. So that being said, I had to go and get more. But again, this one is also very different. As I went and looked online to find out if it was just me or if that's just the way it's made, I found that unfortunately, the manufacturer does not guarantee that from one skein to the next, you will get an exact pair of socks. So I thought, wow, that's unfortunate. And I learned a lesson the hard way, because I had gotten so far in this, but the way the color sequences are for this particular patterned yarn, you really just have to probably do maybe a vanilla sock instead of something like this Turkish bed sock, which is really constructed differently. Okay. So I put this aside because I really got frustrated. I'm sure I have plenty of yarn that I could work it up, but I put it to the side. And that being said, I just got a little frustrated because I have a lot more of this yarn. Okay. So I have this beautiful yarn here, which is also Patton's Croy, and it is called Blue Striped Rag. Okay, Blue Striped Rag. I have 2 skeins of it. And then I have plenty of this, which you guys have seen, because this is what I am using for my Mobius necklace scarf. And this is the Cadet Colors. All right. So I have plenty of that. I have 1 skein of this beautiful color here, and it's called Singing the Blues Stripes. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it, but I do love that color. I just think that this is just gorgeous. All right. So this is a super fine one as well. And the recommended needle size is a 3.25 millimeter. The recommended hook size is also a 3.25. And they give you 50 grams, which is 1.75 ounces. And yeah, just it's beautiful yarn. It's just, you're just frustrated because if you have 2 skeins, you're still not going to have a guarantee of getting the same sock. Okay. All right. But there was a solution. So when I went to Michael's, I just looked around in the sock yarn aisle or section, and I just thought, there's got to be an answer. And I think they found an answer that they were trying to address. Okay, so one of them is this. They came up with this beautiful wool-like yarn, and wool-like comes usually in solids, if I'm not mistaken. And the nice thing about the wool-like yarn is the skeins are large. All right, so this is also a super fine category 1. The recommended needle size is, it looks to be a 2.75 millimeter or a 3.5 millimeter. for the hook, and you get a total of 678 yards. Wow. Okay. Now that's compared to the Patton's Croix, which I'm going to look and see if I can figure out. You get 152 meters or 166 yards. So it doesn't even compare. You get a whole lot more of this than you do of that. And it's beautiful yarn. I have worked with it before for crochet projects, and I worked with it for knit projects, and it does work out just fine. All right. So you could use something like this, but again, if it's more in solids than patterns and you're looking for a pattern yarn, then what do you do? Well, Loops and Threads also came up with another yarn, and that's called Perfect Pair. All right, so Perfect Pair is their way of addressing the big box yarns for socks that you cannot duplicate. And in this skein, it's 454 yards, 3.5 ounces, 415 meters, and 100 grams. So that's enough for you to actually do 2 pair of socks, all right? Whereas the other one only gives you half the amount, so you have to purchase 2 skeins, all right? Okay, so the recommended needle size is 2.75, and the recommended hook size is 3.25. So all of those numbers are exactly the same. For this, though, you get 475 yards. So you get way more of this wool-like than you do of this, but you get the wonderful option of the patterned colors and whatnot. Okay, so I don't know if on here, this is not the exact pattern of it, but you can see kind of the different things that can emerge as you are working up this particular yarn. Now, this one is called Pink Cadillac. Okay, so awesome name, right? And it has a lot of pinks and purples, and then little bit of kind of a light gray, a little bit of blues in it. Just a beautiful, beautiful yarn. Another one of the perfect pair is this. And they tell you right on the label, it makes a pair. All right. And so this one is called Drive All Night. And so this one brings in more grays, more kind of subtle pinks, and maybe like a lavender, purples and whatnot. So also very beautiful colors. All right. And then last but not least, I have another skein of the perfect pair, and this is called Rosalita. Okay. And this one brings in maybe a little bit of kind of a turquoise, and then some burgundies, and just other beautiful, beautiful colors. I love them all. Okay. So this is kind of their answer to the manufacturing of sock yarns that you can't get close to an exact pair of socks unless you color control, which is going to mean that perhaps you need to get maybe 3 skeins at least in order to be able to do so. Okay, so I love it, but again, what we're trying to do is use up our sock yarn in a way that's not socks. So you can choose to make socks with these, but you know, these will make some beautiful things too, especially knowing that you have exact pattern repeats. All right, so you can keep that in mind as you are working with it. All right. Okay, so now I have another type of yarn that I purchased, and I think these are awesome too. So hold on for a moment. I am back. So this is the third type of yarn that I have in my sock yarn stash. All right, so this is from Premier, and I was actually motivated to purchase this yarn after seeing one of Kim's videos over at The Crafty Nomad. So she was working on a beautiful pair of socks, and she was using this yarn, and I thought, oh, that's awesome. Let me take a look and see what varieties they have and see if something that they have I might like. And so it is called Fruits Yarn. Okay, so this is what I purchased. Now, the Fruits Yarn is supposed to give you just very good memories of delicious fruit and have it be fun. Okay, so the particular one that I purchased is called watermelon. And so you can take a look at the colors that are in here and you can kind of get a watermelon vibe. Now, they do have several different fruits, and please take a look at Kim's video to see her beautiful socks that she was working on. And yes, they're just awesome. All right, so this particular yarn, also a category 1 super fine, and it recommends a very similar needle size, which is a 3.75, but it also recommends a 3.5 millimeter hook. All right, and just beautiful yarns and beautiful color patterns that emerge as you are working on it. But again, you don't have to use it for socks, so we could choose to use this for something else. We just have to use our imaginations for it. All right, so I purchased this online from Amazon actually, and it came as a 3-pack. Now, in addition to that, it also came with a bag. Okay, so it came as a 3-pack along with the bag. So you can sometimes find kind of specials like that online, and then just try out a new yarn. Okay, all right, so those are the ones that I have. I do have more sock yarns, and I will show them to you in a different video. I just thought that maybe these might do something to inspire you guys to take a look at your stash and then see what ideas you can come up with based on the yarns that you have with the colors and everything. So now that we've taken a look at some of the sock yarn that I have in my stash, hopefully that has inspired and motivated you guys. Next, I would like to just talk a little bit more about the challenge, and then we're going to go ahead and pull names for our challenge. Okay, so this challenge is really just meant to inspire so that we can come up with just different ideas of what we can do with our sock yarn, and to help us think outside the box and not just limit the yarn to only making socks. All right, so I just thought this was a wonderful thing, and guess what? I wasn't the only person that thought of it, because there are actually books out there about it, right? And that's what brought me into the motivation for the incentive to share the book that I found with some of you guys so that you also can get excited and see that there are so many other possibilities. All right. So the book that I am speaking of is pictured here. So yes, it is called One Skein Wonders, and I think it's just awesome for inspiration. Again, there are wonderful patterns in there, and the whole idea for this particular book is that you can use one skein of sock yarn to make many of the projects that are in there. So that is just great. You don't have to have a bunch of sock yarn. You can just use one skein, all right? And you can come up with something really, really nice, all right? So I thought that was a great idea. Now, as we have gone ahead and done our drawing, we did get notification from one of our winners, and they have already received their item. And that was the beautiful Aisha over at Aisha's Handmade Items. She has received her winnings, and she has put out a video. So I'm going to link her video in the description box below. And I want you guys to go over and watch her video and give her some congratulations, as well as support, because she is doing the challenge and she needs that encouragement just like we all need. Okay, so please go over and check out her video and just cheer her on. All right, and let's see what she decides to do with her beautiful sock yarn that she has in her stash. All right, okay, so yes, Aisha has gone ahead and received her winnings and everything, but our other winner I have not heard from yet. And I hope that at some point I will hear from them, but I haven't yet. And I really do want more of you guys to be motivated and inspired. So today, guess what we're going to do, guys? We're going to go ahead and we're going to draw names. Okay. So hold on for a moment. Let's go ahead and draw winner for the beautiful book, Once Game Wonders sock yarn, and the beautiful bag made by Pricilla at Distinctive Crochet. I know you guys are just going to love the bag. She does beautiful work. And she so graciously offered a bag, and then I sweetened the pot a little bit by adding another bag. Okay, so and another winner. Okay, so let's go ahead and do our drawing. Hold on for a moment. Okay, so I am back. Here we go with the names. I have placed them on the wheel of names, and that way it will be easy to draw. And today, the names we have are Handmade Designs, Karen JSP, Demetria at the Naked Snail, Sharon Sutcliffe, Crafty Snail Mom, Carrie Everlasting, Debbie Muganya, Oregon Cinnamon Girl, Anvita Sinha at 1770, Mary Han, Crochet ADHD, Seta at Seta's Place, Crochet Knitting Addiction with Sherry 2580, and Doretha at Butterall Boutique. Let's go ahead and choose a name. Here we go. Awesome. So we have Jackie over at Crochet ADHD. All right. So Jackie, you are our winner of a beautiful book with lots of inspiration to create things with just one skein of sock yarn that's just not socks. All right. In addition to that, you will win a beautiful handcrafted project bag from the beautiful Pricilla over at Distinctive Crochet. All right. So please contact me by email and I will give you more details once we switch back. All right. So now I'm going to go ahead just for good measure and I'm going to choose another name. Okay. So here we go. Awesome. So we have another winner that is Mary Hahn at 7539. Mary, you are a winner. Please contact me. Okay. So let's go ahead and switch over to the main screen. All right. Hold on for a moment. I am back and I am so excited. We have two new winners and that is just awesome. So for the two names that were chosen, please go ahead and get in touch with me within the next 7 days so that I can go ahead and get your winnings on the way to you. I'm really excited and I hope you guys are excited too. For those of you guys whose names weren't chosen, please congratulate our winners and please stay tuned. We're going to have more opportunity for you guys to be inspired to win something. And we have entries for those who have already started. And yes, so we definitely have things to help keep you motivated to just continue to participate. Don't forget, this is going to go for the whole entire year. So there's not necessarily a rush or anything, but I definitely want to motivate and encourage because as things kind of go for an entire year, sometimes it's just important to kind of keep things going. Okay. All right. So now, in the video that I uploaded and released to show you guys the work that's been done by some of our beautiful crafters out there, one of the items was a whip. And I have, oh my gosh, you guys are just going to be so inspired by this. I want you guys to take a look at this beautiful display here. Isn't that beautiful? She did such a wonderful job. Those are all beautiful mandalas that she went ahead and put together and put on the beautiful embroidery hoop frames of different sizes and then arranged and displayed them so beautifully. Oh my gosh, I am definitely inspired. And yes, just awesome, right? And all done with sock yarn. So lots of things you can do that's just not socks, right? And just beautiful, beautiful display. Okay. All right. So, yes, I will continue to show you guys more as I get more photos and whatnot in, or if there are videos that are done. So, if you guys are content creators and you put videos out, just make sure you tag us so that then we can go ahead and put the word out and do a shout out for you so that others can go and take a look at what you have come up with. In addition, I will go ahead and add things to the playlist as I see things that are coming up. I will add your videos to a playlist so that it can be seen in rotation with the playlist. Okay. So yes, I'm inspired and I hope you guys are too. All right. So that's all I have for this portion. Let's go ahead and take a look at the puzzle solution for the last video that included a puzzle. And this is what I came up with. And this is the puzzle for today. So once again, guys, thank you so much. I really appreciate you for watching my videos, giving me a thumbs up, for all the encouragement, the comments, the kind comments that you guys have provided, and for just spending some time and hanging out with me for a bit. I really do appreciate it. I hope you guys stay motivated. And if you haven't already been inspired, hopefully this video will help to inspire you with some of the beautiful yarns that have been displayed and the beautiful makes that we've displayed, as well as inspiration from other crafters. All right. So please do everything you can to be mindful, do everything you can to be at your best health. And by all means, guys, be crafty every day. I look forward to seeing you again soon in my next video or one of yours. Bye-bye now.